Good afternoon, guys. Thanks for joining us. This is going to be a quick video about Circon Network Integrator, or NI for short. This video is geared towards first-time users, so I just wanted to point out 2 or 3 steps that first-time users might miss when they start working with Network Integrator, or NI. Just an overview, NI is the Circon's database tool, and basically define your databases, and you define your networks, and you define your devices inside those networks. So NI is used to bring everything together and define users and so forth and so on. Okay, so let's start. I'm gonna fire up NI here. I'm going to log in. Okay, so first thing that we do is basically the hierarchy of NI is that you have to create customers, and then within those customers you create sites, and within those sites you create your networks and controllers. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the My Customer folder that's there by default. So I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to click on New Customer. Okay, for this video, I'm just going to call it a simple name. Let's call it ABC Inc. Okay, now this could be a building name, this could be a customer name, this could be any name that would make sense for you for your projects. Okay, so you're free to choose whatever you want. So I'm going to click on Create. Now, as you can see, as soon as I click on Create, it puts it here in the left side tree. So that's my customer called ABC Inc. Okay, I don't want to create any more customers, so I'm just going to close this window. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the customer I just created, and I'm going to click on New Site. For this example, I'm just going to call it, say, Site A, for example. Okay, so Site A. Okay, so I'm going to click on Create. Again, I don't want to create any more sites under this customer, so I'm just going to close this window now. And if I expand the ABC Inc. Customer, you'll see that Site A is under there. Okay, so this is how you create your customers and then your sites. So now what I got to do is I have to define how I'm going to connect to this site, Site A, how I want to connect to it. NI needs to know how to connect to it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on Site A, and I'm going to go into this Properties. Okay, so there's 2 tabs here that you need to be aware of, the LNS tab and the Permissions tab. The Permissions tab I'm going to come back to in a few seconds, but let's click on the LNS tab and I'll show you what you need to do in there. Okay, so most of the time you want to leave the top part as default. That's fine. One critical step here is you need to tell NI how to connect, how you will be connecting to this site. So in this case, I'm just going to use one of my USB LAN adapters called LAN1. So I'm going to choose that. So I'm going to click on LAN1. And next, I'll have to tell NI whether this is a new site with a new database or it's an existing database in my PC, maybe. So for this example, and the majority of the times when you create a new site, you want to create a new database. Okay, so I'm going to go into the network here, network box here, and I'm going to click on Add. Okay, now by default, what NI will do, it will take the customer name and then append the site name after it, and that becomes your network name or database name. It's the same thing. It's the same concept. So I'm going to refer it to as a database name. So that's what it will be. It will be the database name. Sometimes this name will get too long, so you can obviously go in there and change it to what you wish. Okay, but for this example, I'm just going to leave it as default. So that will be the database name, and then this network path is where everything gets stored. That database gets stored, and everything within it is stored in there. So I'll leave that alone as well. And then by default, create new database is already selected, so I'm going to leave that alone as well. So I'm just going to click on OK. It will go ahead and create that site, that database for me. Okay, and I'm done that part. Again, the permissions tabs I'll come back to in a few seconds. I want to show you something before I do that. So I can click on apply, or I can click on OK at this stage, and I'm just going to click on OK, and I'm done with that. So that step is done. Now, let's say we wanted to see what happens as soon as we create this site. So when I left click on the site A now, since it knows how to connect to the site, it gives me the connect option here. So I'm going to click on connect, and it's going to go and use my basic network interface, LAN interface, and connect to the site. So there's few folders that it creates on its own by default. As you can see, subsystem 1, discover channels, that kind of stuff. What's important for this video is subsystem 1 is basically the folder that I'm going to create my devices in. Okay, you can leave it as subsystem 1, or you can change the name. I usually like to change this name to something more meaningful, so I'm just going to quickly do that. I'm going to call it say main floor. You can give it whatever name, or you can leave it as subsystem 1 if you want. So main floor, basically this is the folder I'm going to put my devices in, and you can have many different subsystems, so you're not restricted to one. You can have more than one subsystem if you want to organize your site in different ways. So NI by default knows that it has a network interface, so it creates that device automatically. Now what I want to do is I want to go in this window, the main window here. I want to right click and I want to create new devices. But I see a problem here. You can see there's no new device menu item here, and this is what I wanted to show the new users, that they get confused sometimes at this step. Okay, the reason for that is that there is no new device option here. Is right now NI doesn't know what users belong to this site and what permissions they have, because we haven't told it what users belong to this site. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and right click on site A again, go into its properties, go into the permissions tab, and as you can see there's two windows here. The top window shows you the current users, or the current groups of users that are allowed to edit things and access this site. As you can see, it's empty, so this is the reason why you cannot add any devices to this site right now. Okay, and the bottom window here shows you the all the groups that you've defined in your NI system belonging to, you can have many groups. The default group administrators is created when you install NI, but you can have many groups, say power users, regular users that you don't want to give high-level permissions to, and so forth and so on. The groups will be covered in a different video, but for now I'm just going to show you how you would add, for example, the groups to your specific site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the administrators group, and I'm going to click on the add button here, and you can see it will move the administrators group from here up to here to the active groups that belong to this site. So then I can click on apply or OK. I'm going to click on OK. So now that NI knows that the administrator group has access to site A, then it will let you create new devices. So you see I'm going to right click in this main window, and you can see I get a whole new menus and submenus, and this is where I can go and create different subsystems or new device routers, so forth and so on. So again, this was a very quick overview. I hope it helps new users to get to a point where they can add devices and start playing around with the controllers and so forth and so on. Okay, our contact information will be coming up shortly. Please give us your feedback. We appreciate all your comments. You can also visit our YouTube channel for the latest videos, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.